Welcome back to Good Morning Colorado. This is a live view outside right now from Akron this morning. Time right now is 6:40. Starting off cooler, but definitely this morning is starting off a lot hazier as well. We have Marty to kind of break down our weekend forecast and how it's all shaping up. But it's still going to be somewhat warm, right?
Oh, very warm.
Yeah.
Probably warmer than yesterday, actually. And
Okay.
sometimes people are asking, why is the haze so bad in the morning? What kind of happens is the atmosphere is set up in little layers, and as you get heat in the daytime, you kind of expand the lower levels a little bit. So it's almost like an invisible lid on the lower part of the atmosphere, and it expands a little bit, so then that smoke gets kind of distributed a little bit more. So at night it gets condensed, so it's really, really bad in the morning. I do think we'll have a little improving during the day today, but it's relative.
Okay,
It's still going to be bad.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I-25 in Fillmore and Colorado Springs. There's a lot of traffic out there right now. Again, visibility is not so great. You can see the haze there, even in a kind of a short distance view across the highway towards Pulpit Rock in the distance. A little tough to see it this morning. It's cool. We're in the 50s right now in Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Walsenburg. We've actually had 40s in Lyman this morning. L'Honta's a little warmer at 61. We're in the 30s now for Leadville, for Gunnison, and for Alamosa. And again, that's just an indication of the very dry air that's in place across the area right now. So smoke is pretty thick, obviously, this morning. We've seen that from many of our neighborhood weather network cameras. And the orange shading on here is an indication in Futurecast of where the thickest of the smoke is. And notice as I animate this that it kind of slides off to the east a little bit. Doesn't go away entirely, but that general deep color starts to wane a little and kind of shrink in aerial coverage. And again, that has something to do with the increasing of the heat during the day and the mixing of this atmosphere up a little bit. But it still looks like right on through this evening, we're going to have some pretty decent smoke to contend with. What we're not expecting much of anywhere today is cloud cover or showers or thunderstorms. Maybe later on this afternoon, a few clouds out across the mountains. As I mentioned, the air is very dry today. And so once it gets hot, it's going to stay there. Even if you can't really see that sun kind of baking down on you, it looks a little weird up in the sky with all the smoke. It's a little hard to see any clouds. We'll end up with 90s in much of eastern Colorado, 70s and 80s over the mountains and mountain valleys. A little bit breezy this afternoon, maybe 10 to 15 miles an hour out of the south and east. Look for mid to upper 80s to near 90 through Colorado Springs. Once you hit the airport and head southward into southern El Paso County, we'll probably be in the 90s. Look for mid-80s on the Palmer Divide and then mid-70s to lower 80s around Teller County. I wouldn't expect any rain even around Teller County today. High temperatures along the Arkansas River are going to top 90 everywhere. We'll have some 80s on the higher terrain south and west of Pueblo, but even in places like Beulah and Colorado City, we're talking about upper 80s to near 90. Through the evening hours, again, a few clouds will probably drift across the front range. Futurecast suggests maybe somebody gets a sprinkle. I doubt it. I do think we'll have another kind of strange looking sunset here with some real pretty color in the sun as it goes down, very red looking as it does that. And then by tomorrow morning, things are clear again. The atmosphere remains dry tonight, and so we should comfortably cool into the 50s and lower 60s in eastern Colorado with 30s and 40s up across the mountains and mountain valleys. So another good night for sleeping. Just a little bit tough during the day here with the heat. Again, the sun looks weird, I guess, during the morning hours. It's kind of pretty in its own right. It's just different. That's the view from up on top of Cheyenne Mountain this morning. You can hardly even see that city from underneath. Usually you would associate that with some low clouds. That's not it. It's just the smoke. And we'll track more smoke and hot air over the next couple of days with just very slight chances for rain. More on that in our extended forecast coming up soon. Kershon, back to you.